A search is underway for a 3-year-old British girl who's gone missing in the Algarve area of Portugal, and she went missing last night. Hundreds of people have been searching for the girl.
The main Madeleine McCann suspect, Christian Bruckner, allegedly confessed to a prison inmate that he snatched a child from a Portuguese apartment.
Tonight, Madeleine's parents, Jerry and Kate, are still waiting desperately for news. And with every hour that passes, the questions only grow, and the sense of dread mounts.
Minutes ago, the tragic case of Madeleine McCann was just solved. It's been over 17 years since the little girl disappeared while on vacation with her family in Portugal, and her parents still miss her deeply. On the anniversary of that day, her mom and dad shared on their website how hard it is to go on without her, and thanked everyone for remembering her. Could this finally lead to the answers we've been seeking? Get ready to uncover a series of events more devastating than you might expect. And believe me, this is just the beginning. The horrifying, enduring mystery. The disappearance of Madeleine McCann in 2007 has generated widespread media attention and numerous twists and turns in the investigation. She vanished from her family's vacation apartment in Praia da Luz, Portugal, while her parents dined nearby. This event led to a massive, complex investigation involving multiple law enforcement agencies and attracted extensive media coverage, drawing comparisons to other major news events, like the death of Princess Diana. As the years went by, every clue only made the case more confusing. Then one night, an unexpected find in a faraway place brought new hope and had the whole world waiting, eager to see what would happen next. Their message was filled with hope and thankfulness for the kindness and support they've received, which gives them strength. They still hold on to hope and appreciate everyone who keeps her in their thoughts. But just a few weeks earlier, investigators named a new main suspect, someone they believe kidnapped her when she was 4 years old and may have taken her life before vanishing. The initial investigation focused on the possibility of abduction, but later shifted to more troubling theories. The Portuguese police considered the possibility that Madeleine might have died in an accident in the apartment, suggesting a potential cover-up by her parents, Jerry and Kate McCann. This theory was bolstered by forensic evidence that included DNA traces found in the family's rental car, though the McCanns were later cleared as suspects in 2008. Over the years, the case has seen numerous leads and suspects, with various theories proposed and dismissed. In one instance, a key suspect was identified as a German prisoner with a history of sexual crimes. This added another layer of complexity to the ongoing investigation. Throughout this ordeal, the McCanns have maintained their innocence and have actively participated in the search for their daughter, launching campaigns and working with detectives. The investigation has also faced criticism over the years for its handling by both Portuguese and British police, including accusations of poor initial forensic practices. As of today, the case remains unresolved, with Madeleine's whereabouts or fate still unknown, continuing to draw public interest and media attention. The prolonged nature of the case and the lack of closure is a profound tragedy that has continued to affect many, particularly her family. The McCanns had set up what they thought was a reliable plan to check on their children every 30 minutes. But when they returned to their apartment one evening, they faced every parent's worst fear. Their daughter was gone. It was around 10 at night when Kate McCann went to check on her, only to find the window shutters forced open and the bed empty. The shock and fear she felt in that moment were beyond words. Kate had always thought the resort was a safe place, ideal for families to relax without any worries. The authorities were called right away, and the search began immediately. It wasn't just the police involved. Friends, family, and resort staff all joined in. Hundreds of officers and volunteers searched the area for days and even months, but despite all the effort, no clues brought them closer to finding the little girl. Her disappearance was heartbreaking, especially since she was so young and had such distinctive features. The news spread beyond Portugal and the United Kingdom, grabbing global attention. Early in the investigation, the McCanns turned to the media, hoping to use it to help bring their daughter back. Their story touched many people worldwide, including celebrities like David Beckham and Cristiano Ronaldo, who asked the public for any information. The McCanns even met with the Pope, desperate for any help they could find. But this wasn't the worst part. As the case continued, hope remained distant. In May 2007, the authorities identified a British man named Robert Murat as a person of interest. His home and swimming pool were thoroughly searched as part of the investigation. For the McCanns, this new lead offered a small glimmer of hope that they might one day be reunited with their daughter. Two people linked to Murat were questioned, and in a shocking twist, one of them became the victim of an arson attack soon after. The attacker set the person's car on fire and left a disturbing message on the ground in red paint. It was the Portuguese word for speak. Despite these scary events, by July 21, 2008, the authorities had cleared Murat of any involvement in the case. In a deeply emotional move, the parents of the missing child started a private fundraising campaign on May 15th called Madeleine's Fund, Leaving No Stone Unturned Ltd. The campaign got support from many sources, including a well-known tabloid and famous people like J.K. Rowling and Colleen Rooney, the wife of soccer star Wayne Rooney. But as time went on without any new leads on her whereabouts, some parts of the media began to raise doubts about her parents, even suggesting they might have been involved in her disappearance. One of the more shocking ideas was that her parents, Kate and Jerry, might have accidentally caused her death. The theory claimed they then hid her body with the help of some other vacationers and made it look like she had been kidnapped. This idea gained attention as people pointed out some inconsistencies in the parents' stories from that night. On top of that, forensic dogs smelled the scent of a body in a car the McCanns rented weeks after she went missing, making people speculate even more. But this wasn't the worst part. Even though these findings got a lot of attention, the evidence wasn't solid, and DNA tests from the car and the apartment didn't provide any clear answers. The debate about this theory still stirs up arguments in the ongoing search for the truth about what happened to her. In another big twist, in March 2008, Kate and Jerry McCann received a large payout of £550,000, which is about $690,000. This only made the public's confusion around the case grow, leaving even more questions than answers. Moving forward, the resilience of those involved calls us to explore further, seeking clarity in the shadows of uncertainty. False accusations corrected. The front page of the British newspaper, the Daily Express, showed a public apology for spreading false claims about a couple. The paper had wrongly accused them of being involved in the heartbreaking disappearance of their daughter. The couple strongly denied these accusations and worked hard to clear their name. They even launched a big campaign to help find their missing child. This apology was a major victory for them, as they had faced constant media attention and harsh criticism ever since their daughter went missing in 2007. Right after the incident, British detectives traveled to Portugal to investigate her disappearance. At first, there were rumors of upcoming arrests, which gave hope to many who had been following the case closely. People started to believe that there might finally be some answers. However, things took an unexpected turn when Scotland Yard slowly reduced its involvement. What started with 29 officers working on the case eventually shrank to only 4. This worried the family and supporters, who feared the investigation was losing momentum. Years went by with little progress, leaving the parents desperate for any new lead that could help them find their daughter. But in 2020, there was a big development. The Federal Criminal Police Office in Germany announced they had a new suspect. This man, already in jail for other crimes, was a convicted sex offender. Though his name wasn't released, the police revealed that he had been living in a mobile home in the Algarve at the time she disappeared. Local newspapers around the prison where the man was being held started to report similarities between him and a person convicted of attacking and robbing a 72-year-old American woman in Portugal back in 2005. His DNA had linked him to that case in 2018, which gave more weight to the suspicions. Eyewitnesses also said they had seen this man near the scene around the time she vanished, adding even more mystery to the investigation. When the young girl went missing, a man in his 30s became a key suspect. This suspect matched the profile put together by German investigators. The German police have launched a strong investigation into the case, while British authorities are still treating it as a missing person case. This is because there isn't enough solid evidence to confirm where the girl is. Meanwhile, during a major court case involving Christian Bruckner, who has been charged with violent crimes unrelated to the girl's case, an important witness came forward. The case is connected to the same area in Portugal where the girl vanished over 17 years ago. The witness gave crucial testimony in the trial against Bruckner that could push the investigation forward. She had contacted the British police and was interviewed by Detective Constable Mark Drott. Bruckner is currently in prison and facing several charges, but the details provided by Bushing in court have revealed information that could be a turning point in the case. She went missing on May 3, 2007, and Bushing's testimony has brought new energy to the investigation. DC Drott explained in court how Bushing first contacted the police through a tip line, intending to leave a message for a different officer. However, her message ended up with Drott, who followed up by calling the number she left, which was based in Greece. This started a conversation that led to further investigation on the ground. But this wasn't the most surprising part. Bushing's cooperation led the investigative team, along with German and Portuguese police, to Athens. Over 2 days, they gathered more information that helped guide the investigation. Her detailed account provided a new direction in the ongoing search for answers in this long-running case. Now, investigators may be closer to solving the mystery of the girl's disappearance. He was initially reluctant to help the police, but eventually, he decided to step forward. As the investigation picked up pace, he found himself traveling to London on February 8, 2018, to officially give his testimony to the British police. His statement was mostly prepared in advance, based on earlier discussions. After checking that everything was correct, he signed it, officially agreeing to cooperate with the authorities. In court, when asked if the Metropolitan Police had promised him any health benefits in exchange for his testimony, Detective Drott made it clear that no such promises were made to any witnesses. Meanwhile, the case of her disappearance took a big turn when relatives of Christian Bruckner's former partner informed German authorities about possible clues at an old property in the Algarve. This tip-off pushed German prosecutors to work with their Portuguese counterparts, sharing the important lead. A hospital van driver, who was personally connected to the situation through family, had already spoken to German police. He suspected that his daughter, who had once dated Bruckner, might be involved. He believed she chose money over doing the right thing and urged the police to dig up the garden and the house linked to her. By May 2023, Portuguese officials announced the end of their long search for her, a British toddler who went missing from her family's vacation home in the Algarve back in 2007. This operation covered the Arad Dam Reservoir and the areas around it, about 31 miles from where she disappeared. Despite thorough work by divers and police dogs, only a few small pieces of material were found. These were sent for expert analysis, but no clear answers had been provided yet. Throughout history, the sudden disappearance of children has brought immense pain and sorrow to families, towns, and even entire nations. These tragic events leave emotional scars that never truly heal and raise countless unanswered questions. While every missing child case is heart-wrenching, some stand out because of the unusual circumstances surrounding them or the widespread efforts to bring them home. In this piece, we'll explore a few of the most well-known cases of missing children worldwide and examine the lasting impact these cases have had, along with the tireless efforts to find the truth. With the newspaper's apology now public, the focus shifts back to the enduring mystery of Madeleine's disappearance, leading us to the next chapter of this saga. Decades of doubt. On May 25, 1979, 6-year-old Eitan Patz left his home in New York City for the first time to walk to his school bus stop alone and never returned. His case became one of the most high-profile child disappearances in the U.S. Eitan's face was among the first to appear on milk cartons as part of a national campaign to find missing children. Even after decades of searching, Etan wasn't found. In 2012, Pedro Hernandez confessed to kidnapping and harming Etan, but many still questioned the confession, especially because there was no physical evidence. Despite this, Hernandez was convicted in 2017, though doubts still surround the case. Etan's disappearance led to major changes in how missing child cases are handled, including the creation of the National Center for Missing and Exploited Children, NCMEC, and the declaration of May 25 as International Missing Children's Day. In the summer of 1991, 21-month-old Ben Needham disappeared while staying with his grandparents on the Greek island of Kos. His mother, who had left to work, came back to find her son gone. Despite efforts from both Greek and British authorities, no one has been able to determine what happened to Ben. Various theories have emerged over the years, including the tragic possibility that Ben may have been involved in an accident and was secretly buried. Excavations near the family's home, however, haven't turned up anything concrete. His mother, Carrie, has never stopped searching for answers, and Ben's disappearance remains one of the most well-known missing child cases in the UK. Timothy Pitson was 6 years old when he disappeared in May 2011 after a spontaneous trip with his mother, Amy Fry Pitson. The pair visited amusement parks and stayed in hotels over the course of several days. Tragically, Amy was later found dead in a hotel room, having taken her own life. She left a note saying that Timothy was safe, but that no one would ever be able to find him. Over the years, several leads have surfaced, but none have led to Timothy's whereabouts. In 2019, there was a brief moment of hope when a young man claimed to be Timothy, but it turned out to be a false lead. Despite all this, his family holds on to hope, believing that one day Timothy will come home. On January 26, 1966, Jane, Arna, and Grant Beaumont, aged 9, 7, and 4, went to Glenelg Beach near Adelaide, Australia, but never came home. When the children didn't return as expected, a huge search began. Despite numerous theories, including the possibility that they were taken by a stranger, the case remains unsolved. Many suspects have been investigated over the years, but no one has ever been charged. The Beaumont children's disappearance shook the nation and changed how Australians viewed child safety. Even more than 50 years later, the case still lingers as a haunting, unsolved mystery. 3-year-old William Tyrrell was playing in the yard at his foster grandmother's house in New South Wales when he vanished in September 2014. One moment he was there, and the next, he was gone without a trace. This triggered a massive search that involved police, volunteers, and special teams. Despite years of searching and following various leads, no one has figured out what happened to William. His family, and much of the country, continue to hope that one day, someone will come forward with the key to solving the case. Though Yingying Zhang was an adult when she went missing, her case captivated attention worldwide. Yingying, a 26-year-old Chinese scholar, was last seen in June 2017, getting into a car driven by a stranger at the University of Illinois. That stranger, Brent Christensen, was later arrested and convicted of kidnapping and murdering Yingying, though her body has never been found. Her family, both in the US and China, have been left to mourn without closure, and they continue to honor her memory. Yingying's disappearance highlighted the dangers that international students sometimes face when studying abroad. These stories of missing children, though full of sorrow and mystery, remind us of the fragility of life and the strength of hope. They show how communities and families will never stop searching for their loved ones, no matter how much time passes. They also highlight the need for constant vigilance in protecting the most vulnerable members of society. What are your thoughts on the idea that media attention and public scrutiny can hinder the progress of criminal investigations? Do you think this might have affected the search for Madeleine McCann? Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share your thoughts in the comments below.